If you told me 2 years back that I'll be sitting in my own home entirely by myself in Yorkshire, I probably wouldn't believe it. Buying a property is like a huge milestone. Doing it in the UK as an expat on my own, for me, it felt impossible, but I made it. My journey to buying a house here in the UK isn't out of the idea of investment. It's out of pure necessity. The journey started as I was divorcing with my ex, but he suddenly decided to move back to our rented apartment without any notice. So I decided that, okay, I'll move out to my own place. And I moved to a studio flat, but with like a 5 months contract. Once I moved in, the renting agency told me that, if you want to extend your contract for a full year, the rent will raise for another £800. I was shocked with that, but I was obviously in quite a vulnerable state and I didn't really want to move at that point. So I decided that I'll extend the contract, but at the same time, I'll find my own place. I want to have a place that is for myself. I couldn't live in the mercy of other people, and I needed security, I needed stability, and I decided that I will buy my own place. Hi everyone, I'm Winnie and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I would like to talk about how I bought my own house as an expat in the UK. So after the trauma of the £800 rent increase monthly, I decided to buy my own place. But the reason why I settled on house instead of flat was thanks to my noisy neighbor. My upstairs neighbor in the studio flat was incredibly loud during nighttime, and I had been waken up a few times during night. So I'm like, you know what? I can't live my life like that. So I decided that house it is. And I feel quite lucky about that decision because even though flats and apartments in city center usually have like huge convenience and everything is within proximity, another thing that people doesn't consider is the service charge and other things that you need to do together with the building. I heard that, for example, my current fiance, he's mentioned that his service charge have increased by almost like £200-300 a month. That is quite a lot, and then it's not really been regulated, so your building management team can just increase it as they want. And I feel quite lucky about that. That is an idea that we don't really have in Taiwan, like freehold and leasehold. So in Taiwan, that you pretty much buy a place, you do need to pay service charge, but in the UK that it's not really being regulated, so it can be unforeseen cost and expense from that perspective. Also, once you buy an apartment in Taiwan, that you own the apartment for unlimited time, I believe, but in the UK, buying an apartment, you are on a leasehold and you pretty much just own the apartment for the period of time that you have on your contract. It's usually like over 100 years, but you don't own the apartment forever. It's down to the landlord and the landowner. A lot of the buildings here are kind of converted. They can convert it from old mills, or they can convert from like old Georgian houses, and the things between floors is not concrete like how it is in Asia. So if your upstairs neighbor walk on the apartment carelessly, you can hear everything. Like my previous neighbor, he was dancing or doing whatever during nighttime that I can hear a lot, and it woke me up at night. I want somewhere that I can sleep in quiet. To actually buy a house in the UK and as an expat, I would suggest it to get help from mortgage advisor. I would suggest it to talk to the mortgage advisor first to get idea about how to get mortgage principal and what is the amount of money that you probably will need. A lot of the mortgage advisor, they provided these free consultancy services. If you go do a viewing, the viewing property agency usually will suggest a mortgage advisor for you. You can talk to them for free. So from there, I get an idea that as an expat, the minimum deposit that I should get is about 10%. It depends variously from how long you have been in the country and how long your visa have left and how long potentially you can get settled in a country. And then the interest rate will be different. Our interest rate as a foreigner, as an unsettled foreigner, is usually higher than the citizens. If you have a higher deposit, the interest rate obviously will reduce as well. At the point of preparing the 10% deposit, I didn't think about all the other costs that might come with that. That includes your solicitor charge and you might have to pay your mortgage advisor. That is honestly a bit higher than I expected. Mortgages, you need an application fee as well. So just considering those when you started the process. I didn't have a lot of spare saving at the point. I also didn't get any support from my family. It's all on my own. So it was quite scary for me at the time that I might just be broke at any point. I mentioned in my previous video that I moved to my current house because of my cat. So I was trying to prolong the process, and I didn't want to finish it because once you own the house, you have to pay council tax and things. And because of that overlap, unexpected 2 months overlap, the council tax charge also need to take into consideration. It's not really cheap. I managed at the end that after all the checks and things, the mortgage advisor that I got help from, he's quite clear on other requirements from the banks and stuff, so I pretty much pay, so I don't have to worry about that. If you are confident in buying and applying for mortgage, I know my local friends do that themselves, but as a foreigner, I feel like I might miss something, and I'd rather just pay and get things sorted. Solicitor here, a lot of people will talk about that they pretty much move things on their own case, and you want to finish things quickly, and they pretty much wouldn't want to. But I told my solicitor at the time that I don't want things to finish that quickly because I still have my rent, but I see a house that I really like, so I still put an offer down and stuff. That comes to the idea of chain in the UK. Like there's usually a massive house buying chain. People usually prefer first-time buyer because they can move things a bit quicker. They don't use the money that you pay them to buy the next house usually. So, and same for the house that they are buying, they potentially will use the money you pay to buy the next house. House I'm buying, the owner solicitor is calling me and like, oh, when are you going to finish the process? I'm sorry, but yeah, I end up finishing the process within 2 weeks because of the cat. But before that, I was trying to drag it. And there's another hidden cost that you probably won't think about is the survey. We often buy like a new apartment in Taiwan or a new build. But in the UK, because a lot of house is a bit old, they usually need to go through survey and see that whether the property actually worth the market value, and that is quite a big cost as well. I remember when I talked to the surveying people, they asked about how old is the house. If the house is old, they will suggest to you to get like the highest level survey. But as mine is about 50 years old, they suggested a cheaper version. So a few of my friends suggested to go for the most expensive one, but they say the cheaper ones should be fine with me. My house is fine. I can live here fine. It does need some more work to fix some of the issues, but yeah. If you're expat watching this, I hope that you have someone supporting you, not going through a single income or going through a big life changes like myself. But I do want to let you know that it is possible. It is very different to what you might have in your home country, but we are more resilient than we thought. And we can do it. I can do it. You can do it. I hope sharing my journey and a little bit of tips help you find your ideal home, and hope it help you to find peace as well. If you have any specific questions about any of the process and things, please feel free to leave below in a comment. I'll try my best to answer that. Thank you so much for being here and letting me share this milestone with you. And if you like today's video, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share my video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.